So we just did an episode on what to do if you want to lose muscle. And I know, like I said, it's a weird kind of topic because no one wants to lose muscle, right? But it gives you a good framework for looking at, okay, what are the things that I actually need to do in order to gain as much muscle as possible? So now, we did just training. Let's talk about nutrition. So what do you do if you want to gain body fat? And again, I know people are probably laughing like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Like, obviously, I know I just eat like shit and duh. But if you want to lose as much body fat as possible and be as lean as possible, you have to do the opposite of the things that we're going to talk about. So let's start us off, Pete. First things first, if you want to gain body fat, don't practice flexible dieting. So don't track macros, don't track protein, don't track calories, don't track fiber, carbs, fats. Just willy-nilly eat. That's definitely a surefire way to gain body fat.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way to actually gain body fat is to eat an excessive amount of calories. And if you're not tracking, it's one of those it's an easier way for your body to consume, for you to take in more calories than you're actually aware of. And I think whenever you see people that are in really good shape, like let's say, you see even bodybuilders do this when they get rid of, like they finish a contest season, or let's just say they're not even competitors, but they just get in shape for a certain period of time when they're at their leanest, right? And then, many of them, you see them a couple months later and they actually kind of look like they fell off the wagon and they just gained a bunch of body fat. What usually happens in that time period is they're not actually on a meal plan, or they're not tracking their foods. A lot of them do follow strict meal plans where they follow the exact same diet plan every single day. Or let's say they do practice flexible dieting, they track it, and then afterwards they just go back to saying, okay, I'm not going to be in shape right now, the contest is over, whatever the goal is done, I'm going to just go back to eating the way I'm eating. And they pack on a ton of body fat. And that's because they're not managing their food intake, they're eating excessive amounts of calories that they're not even aware of. And then you see people where, they finish contest seasons or they finish, dieting down, and you look at them 3-4 months later and they're still lean. They peaked at whenever the contest season was and they still managed to keep it off. I was very big on when I was competing that in the off season I would stay lean after a contest. And that comes down to managing your food intake afterwards. And a lot of people have trouble sticking to it mentally afterwards, and that's when they gain that body fat.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty, we've beaten this to death.
Yeah.
You have to track. You have to be able to know how many calories you're taking in, because it's the way science works. There's no other way around it. Like, I hate when I hear people say like, oh, I can't lose weight. Has nothing to do with a calorie deficit. It's my gut. It's like, no,
it has looking for an excuse.
Yeah, it's just like, no. You have to just track.
Yeah.
And if you're not tracking, I can guarantee you. No, I know I eat the same things every day, so it's not that. I know what I'm eating. I can guarantee you're sneaking calories in that you don't even realize are in there. Like, people don't even realize the things that they do, the licks that they take off the spoon, the extra bites, the sips, the this, the that. Yeah. All those extra calories add up quick.
Yes.
And again, extra 100 calories a day, added up over 7 days, adds up over 2 weeks, adds up big time over time. And you might not see it initially. That's the thing that comes up. You might not see it initially because if it's little like that, you might not notice it. But over time, it definitely adds up. It's like, just to say someone's overeating 100 calories every day, not realizing it. 7 days, an extra 700 calories. Maybe their weight kind of went down a little bit. Again, you're always going to kind of have a little bit of fluctuation. Second week, did it again. Now you're an extra 1,400 calories. Your weight kind of didn't move that week. Now you do that again for another 2 weeks. That's an extra pound of body fat right there in those extra calories. Now you look at your progress over the course of the month. You're like, oh, I didn't lose anything this month.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't lose anything because you were having an extra 3,500 calories at the end of the month. And that's the way it works. It works by those numbers. So if you're not aware of what's going on,